We begin with the Russia-Ukraine war as Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal warns of a looming Third World War if Ukraine loses its conflict with Russia. He was making the comment in Washington, D.C., where he urged Congress to pass a long-stalled foreign aid bill. Mr. Shmyhal expressed cautious optimism that U.S. lawmakers would pass the hotly contested bill, which has $61 billion earmarked for Kyiv. He believes a failed bill could encourage other wars, sparking wider conflict. But Kremlin officials have ridiculed such claims as Western scaremongering. Last month, President Vladimir Putin dismissed suggestions Russia might one day attack Eastern Europe as complete nonsense. The House of Representatives is set to vote on the package, which includes funding for Israel as well as the Indo-Pacific this Saturday. U.S. President Joe Biden has said he strongly supports the new $61 billion aid bill for Ukraine, arguing it will send a message to the rest of the world. The legislation will also include funding for Israel as well as the Indo-Pacific. In other news, two dual German-Russian national spies have been arrested on allegations of planning to sabotage German military aid for Ukraine. The men were arrested in the southern German state of Bavaria on suspicion of spying for Russia. They're also accused of scouting potential targets, including United States military facilities based in Germany. Authorities have described the arrest as a significant investigative success in the fight against Russian President Vladimir Putin's sabotage and spy networks. The main suspect, identified as Dieter S., is accused of plotting an explosion, arson, and maintaining contact with Russian intelligence. He's also accused of fighting for a Russian proxy armed force in occupied eastern Ukraine from 2014 to 2016. The second suspect, identified as Alexander J., is accused of helping Dieter to identify potential targets for attack. Germany is the second largest donor of military aid to Ukraine after the United States, earmarking some 28 billion euros since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February of 2022. Russia, on the other hand, has accused Europe of putting up barriers to its blooming garden while also applying double standards to the global south and to Ukraine. Russia's permanent representative at the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, was speaking during a debate at the UN Security Council on the role of young people in addressing security challenges in the Mediterranean. He says there's an existential rift running along its basin, on one side of which is a prosperous Europe, in the words of EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell, a blooming garden, and on the other side is a region that, largely due to the crude intervention of the West, is shaken by conflicts and internal instabilities, in which the population is forced to survive. Nebenzia's words. He continued by claiming that huge numbers of young people were seeking to overcome the divide by traveling across the Mediterranean at great risk to their lives, great risk to their escaping poverty and hopelessness, unemployment, and many other problems left as a legacy by Western colonialists. Nebenzia claims the best illustration of the attitude of the EU is the double standard towards refugees from Ukraine and countries of the global south. The EU's own statement during the meeting said that the bloc is a staunch supporter of the youth empowerment.